Yes, I know I spelled prompt incorrectly. That's because I'm using prompt as an acronym for how to write the perfect prompt. The perfect prompt starts with precision. Then you need to tell AI what you are requesting, what you are seeking, such as an answer to a question or a comparison of two or more approaches. Next, the output you want. Then you need to model your desired response. And then tell ChatGPT or AI the persona it should assume when answering your question or request. Then indicate the tone you expect, and finally, tell it the right temperature. What? Did he just say temperature? Yes, he did. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about temperature in a bit. Temperature? After this video, or during this video, or whenever you try out this prompt technique, let me know in the comments below how it worked for you and if it needed any modifications. So let's explore the first element of our prompt acronym, precision. Precision is an umbrella term, meaning that every element of your perfect prompt needs to involve precision. We need to be precise in our prompt requests. Even ChatGPT itself, in an article on their webpage titled Best Practices for Prompt Engineering with OpenAI API. Whoa, that's a mouthful. But that advises us to avoid fluffy prompts. Yeah, that's the programming term they use, fluffy. Now, to me, Fluffy was the name of a dog my wife had while she was growing up. But in this case, it means an imprecise prompt. I've included the link to that article in the notes below so you can, verify. Let's look at an example of a fluffy prompt, modified from ChatGPT itself. Write a description for a course on effective sales skills that is fairly short, a few sentences only, and not much more. That's fluffy. Now, here's a more precise prompt. Provide a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph that is persuasive and conveys a sense of excitement about a course on the topic of effective selling skills. A precise prompt eliminates confusion that might arise when AI interprets your request. It helps AI understand exactly what you're looking for, resulting in a more accurate and relevant response. A precise prompt reduces the chances of AI generating an irrelevant or off-topic content that you don't want. Strive for precision in every prompt that you create. That will lead to the perfect prompt. Okay, so everything needs to be precise. Got it. Next, you need to focus on your request from ChatGPT or Bard or any AI tool. The request is what you are asking AI to do. This might seem simple, but it's not as simple as it seems, or everybody would naturally do great prompts. Do you want a summarization of information? Are you looking for AI to compare and contrast two items, or for the pros and cons of certain strategies or approaches? Do you want AI to answer a question, or tell a joke, or create an essay, or predict the outcome of an event? This is your intent. What do you want from ChatGPT or Bard? What is your request? So before you even type in your request, stop. Stop for a moment and consider what you are requesting. Clarify to yourself what you want AI to create and why you're making that request. Ask yourself, what goal am I trying to achieve with this content? Or what should my target learners know after studying this content? Or what do I want to reinforce or encourage? Like, what behavior am I looking to elicit? The clearer you are about what you want to accomplish, the better your prompt is going to be. Now, let's get a little more technical in exactly how to write that request. First, be precise. See the first part of this video. Next, make your request open-ended. What this means is that you don't make a request where the results could be a yes or no response. Now, typically, ChatGPT will give you a long and detailed response even to a yes or no question. So brevity here is not really the issue. For example, when I made the following request, is it dangerous to enter a confined space without personal protective equipment? There was no lack of detail. It's like having that one long-winded friend who's always trying to show off what they know. Instead, the problem is you'll get too much information that is not directly related to exactly what you want or what you're trying to teach or provide. I mean, even a simple question like, is beer good for you, results in a long-winded response. May be appropriate at the bar, but not so good for training and development content. Instead, make a request that requires an elaboration based on your specific needs. This will give you a more precise, there's that word again, and targeted response that will better suit your goal or purpose for making the request in the first place. Instead of making a request like, is it dangerous to enter a confined space without personal protective equipment? A better request would be, what are 3 dangers of entering a confined space in a brewing facility without wearing the proper personal protective equipment? In short, your request should contain the elements of the PROMPT acronym, which brings us to the next letter, output. Well, actually, that's not the next letter. The next letter's O, but output is the word it represents. How do you want ChatGPT or Bard or any AI to give you your response? What do you want it to look like? Describing the output that you desire in the format that best fits your needs ensures that AI structures its response in a way that meets your expectations. When you specify your desired output, you help to ensure that the response is presented in a structured and organized manner. And you maintain consistency and coherence in the information that you're being given. You also ensure that the content is presented in a way that meets your goal. The great thing is that ChatGPT and Bard and almost any AI is that they provide so many different types of output, such as a paragraph, a bulleted list, code snippets, comparison charts, Eisenhower boxes, narration or stories, feedback, recommendations, step-by-step or even hour-by-hour instructions. If you use an art AI generator or a speech AI generator, you can also get artwork and even audio files. The possibilities are endless, so figure out what you need first. Remember our goals in the request portion of this acronym, right? And don't forget to specify the output to meet your goals. Okay, so we've got the request and the desired output, and we're being very precise. So the next letter is M for model. What I mean here is to provide an example or sample of the way you want AI to analyze the information and how you want it presented. I think the best way is to show you what I mean. I was asking ChatGPT to write some learning objectives for me, and when I wasn't being precise, the objectives were not in the format that I needed. Objectives can be written in a SMART format or the ABCD format. To obtain the format I desired, I had to indicate the model or example that I wanted. So I told ChatGPT to present the format in an ABCD format. And then it gave me some crazy ABCD format that I wasn't familiar with, at all. I didn't even know it existed. So then I had to model the exact desired format, which was ABCD format with audience, behavior, condition, and degree. That's what I told ChatGPT. That was the model I was seeking. Then I got the response I wanted. Providing a model or example offers AI a tangible reference point to understand the context and content that you're looking for. It assists AI in generating responses that are aligned with your specific requirements. By using a model or example, you guide AI in comprehending the nuances of your query, leading to more accurate and contextually relevant outputs. Now, let's look at the P in our prompt. This stands for persona. Identifying a persona is important. Just as individuals have distinct ways of speaking and expressing themselves, everybody has their own kind of personality. That defining a persona for AI's responses gives you the ability to shape the language, the level of complexity, and the amount of information that AI provides. If you ask AI to assume the persona of a 5th grade teacher explaining the elements of quantum physics, you'll get a very different response than if you ask AI to assume the persona of an expert scientist in the field of quantum physics explaining quantum physics. There are several different categories of personas that you might consider, and As an added bonus, you can even add a specific name for your persona type, such as, Abraham Lincoln. Hey, Abraham Lincoln, please list for me as Abraham Lincoln, please list for me 3 key elements of the U.S. Constitution. So let's look at general persona types. There's the professional persona, like a manager or an executive. This kind of persona would be very suitable for providing technical information, explanations, and professional advice. Another might be the casual persona, like your best friend from high school. This is ideal for friendly interactions, conversations, and relaying non-technical information. Then you might have something like the creative persona. This might be from the perspective of an artist or a novelist or a television producer. It would be suitable for generating imaginative content, creative writing, and brainstorming. You then even might have an instructive persona. This could be a teacher or a beloved professor. This would be appropriate for step-by-step instructions and or tutorials. Empathetic persona. This could be a social worker or a counselor. It would be helpful for providing support and empathetic responses. Remember, while persona can add an extra dimension to the output you're seeking, it's crucial to balance the persona with the purpose of the interaction. There we go again, back to the goal of making the request. The persona should enhance the AI experience and align with the intended outcomes. For instance, a humorous persona might not be suitable for conveying serious medical information. Tone is next. Don't take that tone with me. Well, actually, do take that tone with me. Well, let me tell you, AI, what tone to take. One thing you can do in your prompt is to provide a tone for the response. Do you want formal, informal, conversational, enthusiastic, persuasive, or academic? The tone often goes hand in hand with the persona, but it adds one more level of nuance. You could have a mentor give advice in an empathetic tone or to be more formal in their advice. You can have the kind of feedback, you can have very kind feedback on your content or vicious feedback. That's the tone. Ask for an expressive or kind tone or a formal or informal tone, casual, or even, if you're in the mood, condescending. There are many different tones you can add to your prompts to obtain the desired outcome. Finally, we've come to temperature. Now, what in the heck is temperature when it comes to AI prompts? What does temperature do? What does it mean? Drum roll, please. Well, according to OpenAI, the temperature parameter is used to adjust the probability distribution of what text is generated. What? Well, let's simplify that. Temperature is a measure of randomness and creativity of the AI's response. In other words, let's try that one more time. You can ask AI to be more precise and accurate with the words it chooses to provide to you by adjusting the temperature. You can allow AI some leeway and have it give you some less predictable and more creative responses with temperature adjustments. If the temperature parameter is set above 0, AI will likely produce different results each time, and that's an expected behavior. The range of temperature in AI starts at 0 and can go basically to infinity, but for practical purposes, from 0 to 1 is the common range. A temperature of 0 corresponds to selecting the most probable word at each step, making the output deterministic and focused. Moving higher than 0 gives you a less probable word selection. Here's a chart that demonstrates the concept. Let's take the classic sales exercise of selling someone a pen, and let's see how temperature changes make an impact. Note that at the high temperature range, it recommends using magic and imagination to sell the pen. This might be great for sparking creativity, but it's not practical or an implementable concept. In the mid-range and the medium range, it focuses on a mix of creativity and practicality. And that might be good for a training class, right? To have a little bit of fun, a little bit of engagement, kind of at the middle of the temperature range. The low range is producing clear and concise responses. It's basically what you'd expect. Although it's better, of course, the chart says features, but it's always better to sell benefits than features. It's important to note that the exact behavior of the model depends on factors beyond just the temperature setting. This includes the specific prompt that you use, the context of content that you're giving it, and the model's underlying architecture. But playing with the temperature is a good, and I might add fun way, to vary outputs from your prompts, and it allows you to generate different possibilities in the responses. There you have it. Try using the prompt acronym to engineer your next AI prompt, and let me know how it worked in the comments below.